My name is Mike Prosserman, aka B-Boy Pieces, and I use breakdancing as my outlet for my stress and my anger and all these things. And everyone in this world has positive and negative outlets in their life, right? So I chose to follow my career and follow my positive outlet. Now, today, I want to dedicate to two very important people in my life, this speech. One is my dad, who used to sneak me into breakdancing competitions when I was 13 years old. And the other is my mom, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. Right now, she's battling through breast cancer. And just like everything else in her life that I know she's overcome, I know she's going to make it. And she's built a lot of strength in me. And I'm rooting for you too, Mom. So when I was a little kid, I used to stand on my head while watching TV. And this concerned my mom, especially when I became a little bit of a hotshot and started to suck my thumb as well. So she decided to enroll me into gymnastics, and I love gymnastics because in gymnastics they had these handstand competitions where you'd go on your hands, and pretty much the last one standing would end up winning. And, well, I was always the last one standing. See, I used to be a bit of a show-off. I guess nothing's changed. All right, but I ended up quitting gymnastics when they started pushing me down into the splits just to protect myself. So as I grew up, I went through a bunch of different challenges. My mom and dad, when I was 13, got divorced. But going back into my younger childhood, when I was about grade 1, my mom was suffering from a mental illness called schizophrenia. And this was a really challenging thing as a young person because I didn't understand what was going on. And I'm the type of person who builds up my stress inside until I can't take it anymore and I'd even get sick. And I was really lucky to have found breakdancing, I say, when I was 13, because I would literally take all the stress and the anger in my life and I would just throw it down on the floor. I would just grab it and just let it out. And I would just let it out like that. And I'd confront the world in a positive way with a positive attitude because I had all that stuff off my shoulders. So these friendly-looking fellows over here are my crew. I guess I didn't get the memo not to smile in the picture. But, you know, I'm not from what you'd call a rough neighborhood, but the differences in my crew in my life, they were going through challenges of their own. You know, I was going through this stuff in my family. They were dealing with different things in their neighborhood. But at the end of the day, we all use dance as the way that we expressed ourselves. We had the same positive outlet. So I'm like, you know, someone else is doing the same thing that I am, just with a totally different issue. Something clicked. When I was going through high school, grade 11, I actually became what you could call a professional breakdancer. I got to represent Canada in the UK, and I also auditioned for Cirque du Soleil, and I got in. So I was choosing in grade 12, interesting choice, between the circus and university. And this was a challenging decision, circus, university, circus, university. So I ended up choosing university. Gotcha. And that was a great decision for me because I wanted to really get the skills behind creating a passion that I could later use in my life through my career. Now, I want you to imagine your passion, the thing that you love so much in this world. It could be dancing, it could be sports, it could be writing, it could be playing the guitar. Think about that thing right now. So imagine someone were to take that and rip it away from you and throw it at the wall, and all you could do is stand back and watch. Well, that's how I felt when I found out that I had fused vertebrae in my neck, naturally fused, and as the doctor says, the neck of a 70-year-old. I don't know math too well, but when I'm 70, then it's just not good. But this was another tough thing in my life because my passion was now stripped away from me, my outlet, so I no longer had a way of releasing my stress in a positive way. And again, it started to build up and up and up. As you can tell by this picture, by the way, the brain, it's not to size, it's not to scale, it's actually quite a lot larger than that in real life, I promise. But this was a tough time for me. And just so you understand the importance of how head spinning was in my breakdancing career, I'm going to play a quick video for you in Montreal. I used to compete out there of me head spinning. Just check this out. So I guess spinning in slow motion didn't help either. But a couple years later, I found and met this dude who's now one of my best friends. His name is B-Boy Lazy Legs. And he inspired me to start dancing again because I realized that I didn't need to be on my head in order to dance. So I cut out all those moves I had on my head and I rebuilt my style from scratch. And now to this day, just for fun, to test out my skills, last month I went to Holland to battle in an international competition. And I placed top 8 in 3 of the battles, one of which was top 4. And I'm like, yeah, I could still do this. I don't have to go on my head to do this. So I was able to reinvent my style. And that's something that's, you're going to get roadblocks coming in front of your passion, but you can always take different detours, and you'll eventually still get there. So I'm the type of person who likes to build the plane while flying it. Now, some people build these fancy planes their whole life, and they just, they never get them off the ground. But in grade 11, I built this like one-wing, shoddy-looking plane, and I just took it off. And then I started building the other wing while I was in the air, and it leveled out. I'm like, okay, all right. And then it started running out of gas. I'm like, oh no, go, 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 go. Back flying again, right? So as I was through trial and error pretty much over 7 years, I took my passion for breakdancing and I turned it into this idea, this event called Hip Hop Away from Violence, which I ran in grade 11. And now I've developed into a career, this organization called Unity Charity. And Unity Charity is just my story times 1,000, times 100,000. We've reached over 40,000 young people in 40 schools across the country, but we do it by just giving young people a voice, giving them an outlet, the same way that I had mine, to help them overcome things and challenges in their lives. So, same as me, get engaged. All you got to do is see it and try it, and then you're hooked, right? So that's what happens. We go into schools, we engage people through ciphers and assemblies and replacing classroom time in schools. Wouldn't that be great? Also, I realized not everyone loves breakdancing, so we introduced graffiti art, spoken word poetry, and beatboxing. And think about these resources. Think about these actual activities. They don't require anything except yourself and maybe a piece of paper and a pen, right? So anyone can do this. And it's not even about these 4 art forms on the board, It's just about going in front of a young person and being like, listen, I am so passionate about breakdancing. I love it. I want to do it for the rest of my life. You all have something that you can do the same. It doesn't have to be one of these 4 elements. You know what I mean? Like me, I was what you call a student council nerd when I was in high school. I was a student council president. But not everyone takes that direction. So Unity provides after-school programs and all these things to develop leadership skills. Because once you've let out all your stress and your anger, well, what do you do with yourself, right? Well, you got to get a career, get a job, go to university, and we help young people get in that direction. Finally, who's here ever heard the term starving artist before? Anybody? Well, for many young people across this country and around the world, that's a reality. So the long-term vision and future of Unity is to provide more employment for young people as artists so that they're able to have that outlet as part of their life every single day. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Now, we've been able to take this Unity thing, all across the country. It's been incredible, from Halifax to Calgary. We've even done partnered projects up in Nunavut with this organization called Blueprint for Life, where we replaced an entire week of school for over 100 young Inuit children. It's an incredible experience. But the same as my story, the same as my crew's story, these people are just finding positive ways to express that stress in their life. An amazing thing happened. Last month, we were actually invited to Italy to represent Canada at a drug prevention conference. And I met organizations from Uganda, from Cambodia, from Colombia, Portugal, Switzerland, all using hip-hop or the arts as a way of giving young people a voice, giving them that outlet. And I realized, you know what? Like I said, this isn't just me. This is not just my crew. It's not even just Canada. This is the world. But in reality, great, it's the world. But I really think it's about you guys. And it's about even the adults in this room, the kids, anyone and everyone has both positive and negative outlets in their lives. And I have dedicated my entire life to going after my positive outlets, and I've lived a full and happy and successful life, and I'm still young. I'm only 24. And I think everyone, even if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, you can do that too. So does anyone want to see me express myself, my negative energy and my stress from the day? All right, can we hit the beat there?
Many times I had to pull my way to the top, never knowing where I was gonna find me by mistake.